This literally just happened to me yesterday, scope creep, which happens to everybody on a project, right? So we do the project, we design the room, project is over and done, and then I get an email from the client asking for, "Oh, I kind of changed like an idea on something. Can you source now something else?" Right? So I basically had to respond like, "Yes, I can absolutely do that for you, but since, we've already wrapped on this project, I have to put more time into my schedule for you, so it will be an additional service." Right?
Okay,
Um,
that sounds reasonable.
and
That's
I,
good.
we've talked about that a long time. It's very easy to get caught up in the scope creep. We've all done it, and we've all kind of like, I'm sure, given away a ton of money and time
Mhm.
to that. So just being really specific and, having a system in place and having a policy in place to say, okay, well, we can do it. And then here is your other option for how we can tackle that.
Yeah, you know what? I think it comes to from with scope creep is the more specific you are on your contract,
Exactly.
right? Then the easier it is to come back and say, well, the contract doesn't say that.
Ex-
Because, if you have a problem with that, just wait until they have an issue and they point out on your contract, well, you said renderings. They're going to take you right to your contract.
Yeah.
You said renderings and you didn't supply them. Okay. Right? Or you said elevations and you didn't supply them, or whatever the thing is, right? So you don't need to feel guilty. Like the more specific you are, the better it is because that way you're just like, look at it says right here in the contract that I don't do that. Or you get two options or whatever. Now
Right.
it's still tough because, every project can lead to other things. Like, I was doing a project with reused vintage furniture, and so we had to buy it as it came along, which means it's little harder to create a cohesive design. Like we
Mm.
knew how it fit, so then it was like, okay, this piece is available right now. You need to get it. Like, do
Right.
you want it? Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little hard because then she didn't like the chairs, and then the chairs were just like had been sold already by the time we got around to that. So then it was like, okay, you know,
Okay.
we need to source something else. But how is your contract then with that? Is it spelled out pretty explicit?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's basically said like, this is what I'm sourcing for you, these 8 things or
Yeah.
whatever. So now that we're doing
Good
something
for
and,
you.
yeah. So what
Yeah.
happened was it was a bathroom renovation. So we selected everything. And we specifically had the conversation about, do you want mirrors or medicine cabinets? No, we're going to use mirrors because the wall behind backs up to another room. There's not enough space in the wall. So we had the conversation. Okay, perfect. So I sourced mirrors and sconces. And now that they demoed the bathroom, we do have some room. So can you source medicine cabinets now? Right. And
Yeah.
while, of course, yes, I can, but now we're locked into specific sizing. We have lighting around it, so we need to make sure there's clearance for the lighting. So it is not just,
Yeah,
yes,
here's two
there's a
things. Yeah.
right. And you know how that is. I mean, that's with anything. Like, oh, can you just pick a wallpaper? Like, no, there's thousands. Like, there's a lot of thought and, a lot of different things that go into
Dominoes.
making a selection. So
Yeah, dominoes. It's a dominoes, right?
100%, like which way is the medicine cabinet opening? Well, there's a light here now. So we have to be specific that there's a specific size we're working with. So there's all of these factors. So, and I just explain that and it is what it is. Unfortunately, I can't take, 2 hours to source one thing without being compensated for it. Period.
Right. And it will take longer because now your parameters are getting shrunk too.
Yeah.
Whereas before it's like
And what's available because the bathroom is demoed. So now we need to get something ASAP.
ASAP that works, that is, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
well, good
it's
for
funny because
you
I
for
was at an,
saying that
I,
because very good for you for saying that because it's really hard in those instances
I
where you
have
feel
to.
like, oh, I gotta just get this bathroom done. But
Yeah. No, I have to because this was specifically consulting for sourcing selections. Like that's what it was. So it's not like
right.
it's a full service project where
Uh-huh.
there's it's a bigger scope. And so, you can maybe be a little bit more forgiving with certain things because, the fee is different and you're working on it for a
Right.
longer
Okay.
time. Right. So that's the difference here. But
Yeah. So that's good that you have a very specific contract for that too, because it's like this is what we're sourcing, and then you can go back to it. And you know, just telling them straight up, being forward with it because either you're going to get resentful because you're doing the work and you're not getting paid for it. And it's
Yeah.
how are the clients supposed to know that? Like, they don't know. So many
Right.
people don't work with interior designers that are working with interior designers. And they're, I find that a huge part of what I do is also just educating. Like, you're not getting the value of an interior designer if that's all you want me to do is just put furniture in the room. Like,
Right.
that's not
Exactly.
going to help, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, good. That's good. I applaud you because that's a hard conversation to have. You want the clients to like you and work with you, but
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you're running a business too,
that's
So,
right. It's a
yeah.
business. Business.
Yeah, and it's interesting because last week I was having a conversation with another interior designer and she was saying how like scope creep is like she's like fairly newer. So like scope creep is like killing her because, you get sucked into that, and it's very hard sometimes to get into the habit of saying no or,
Well, I think
enforcing the contract.
yeah, it's interesting because I think it's a combination of things. If you're newer, you don't have the expertise, like you are actually I mean, I know for me, you take on more projects that are maybe not ideal projects because you want to have the work. You're undercharging probably anyways, right?
Mhm.
And you want to have stuff for your portfolio, but then you end up compromising and that, like I've done it.
Yeah,
Who hasn't done it?
we've all done it.
Right, we've all done it. But
We've all
what
done it.
does that mean? At the end of the day, you are not creating a business. And I can tell you that after being in the business for 15
Exactly.
years, like all those things means that you're not creating a business or create like you are just
Right.
making work for yourself.
Yeah.
So because it's when you change things up and make do with this client and then do something else with another client, it's
And I guess that will bring us into the next topic, which is
yes.
having a better system and having your policies in place and automations. Ultimately.
Automations, system, but automations can also mean like automatically, like client signs up, the
Yeah.
system is client signs up, they get a Google Drive, they get the MyDoma Drive, they get, you know,
A welcome
all like
packet or
everything's set
whatever.
up, they get
Yeah.
email, they get that or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's automatic. Like it's
Exactly.
part of the system, it's automatic, it happens. And if we drop a piece of that, then later on we're making way more work for ourselves because we don't have that Google Drive that we're dropping things in as we find them or whatever the case may be. But yeah, systems. And also with systems, it reminds you too that that's not how we do it because it's more expensive doing it a different way.
Yeah.
It's, it's going to end up being way more work for you or whatever the case may be because
Yeah.
you didn't do your triple measurements, you didn't get this, you didn't get that, and now you're down. I can't even tell you how many, like, it runs into mistakes. You run into mistakes because there's
Yeah.
so many details you have to oversee.
Yeah.
Like, it's really hard, I think, to do systems as an interior designer because
Yeah.
it's like you're doing it first for bringing on the client, for when you're creating a design, for when you're sourcing the design, for when you are procuring the design, for when you are doing all the logistics, and when you're executing, when you're finishing. I mean, there's like so many parts, and
Yeah.
every
And all the design inquiries because 'cause they're different. I know. I find it very overwhelming.
it can be absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been working on my SOPs. We've been working on our SOPs here at Walden Interiors because we want and the other thing too is that now with there's 3 of us in the office,
Mhm.
what we're finding is we are interrupting each other's work to get information.
Okay.
And so it's reducing our efficiency, right?
Mhm.
And slowing down the work because
Okay.
without like okay, so if we know that all the measurements are right here in this folder, you don't have to go there to you don't have to interrupt everything. Well, what was that measurement? Because it's all there.
Right.
Like if you're talking to a certain vendor, it's all the information is all there. So
Mhm.
that has like I guess one big thing is on reupholstering or upholstering. Right
Mm.
now, we have a sheet that we fill out every single time. It gets
Okay.
all so it has, you just pop in the information, but
Yep.
without that sheet, you don't get an order. And it makes sure that we have the measurements, we have the fabric, we know where the fabric's coming from.
Mhm.
So we don't have to remake it, make up all that information every single time.
Yeah, no, that's important. I mean,
But
I
it
feel like after, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years in business, you're still creating systems, you're adjusting systems. So, just because you have a system doesn't mean you're always going to have that system. Things need to evolve and change. And I guess that's why. And then, something happens or something happens in a project and you're like, oh, I got to change that because now realizing that there's an issue. So let me change
yeah.
that system. So,
Yeah, well, I also found that, when it was just me in the office and then I had my partners that I was working with, whether it's you know, I don't know, the builder, the contractor, the upholsterer, the refinisher, the painter, the wallpaper, you know,
mhm.
I kept way more information in my head.
Yeah, of course.
But now that I have support in the
Yeah.
office and on the design, like I'm not even getting that information to hold. So when it needs to be relayed, I don't have that information because someone else is taking over that section of work,
Right.
but then they have to make sure that it gets relayed. Everybody else can go find it too. So yeah, it's changed the way I've done business because we're adding people.
Yeah, of course.
But it also is what creates a business because with those systems, you're not creating a business. You're just doing a job.
Yeah.
And if you do the systems, and it's quite boring, right? These systems, like,
Yeah.
and most people who are designers who've gotten into the business are because they're quite creative. And their creative side is, wanting to do it. They want to do it themselves and have their business, but they didn't necessarily get into it because they're thinking, I want to have a business. Let me do interior design. It's mainly, I love interior design. I'm going to start a business. So
Mhm.
therefore, all those business protocols and standards and everything tend not to be at the forefront of what we do as creatives in the business. Like it took me a
Yeah, same.
long time, and I'm still learning. Like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, yeah.
So, do you have like I was thinking about this with systems, maybe setting up it's like more like and I don't even know how to do this. I'd have to figure it out. But when you do like somebody like sends you a DM and you like automatically have a reply sent to them.
I don't
You
have that set
you do
up.
that? I kind of like it.
You have it set up?
No, I like the idea of it. I'm wondering if I should try that.
I don't. I have a social media person who does like responds, and then if something comes up, most of the I'm not getting DMs of like, hey, like business DMs.
Mhm.
Not usually. I'm not usually responding to those. Like if a DM comes in like that, then I'll respond. But it's not like I'm getting so many every week or month or whatever that I need to set it up.
But
Yeah.
I think it's just good to be able to have the automatic reply and send them somewhere, you
Yes,
know?
that is good. I think that is a good thing.
Yeah.
But I just don't get that many DMs that I'm needing that reply. Like people I'm commenting perhaps on someone's post and they're commenting back on my post, or
Okay.
they're commenting back to me,
Mhm.
or somebody has sent me something and that's more personal. Like people
Yeah.
or that's not true. I do get a lot of vendors saying, "Oh, we have a wonderful wallpaper line."
Okay.
In which case, like it may be wonderful, but it's not on my list of priorities of what I'm working on. So therefore, I don't feel like I have to respond immediately, right?
Okay.
If it's a lead, if it's a potential client, that's a different story,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
right?
that's just something I'm thinking about, and then even, like, on my website, I gotta go back in there and see I was thinking of I mean, I have a form that people will fill out, right?
Yeah, me too.
And so that's really all that I have on there, but I'm like, "Oh, well, should I include oh, if you wanna schedule, like, a 15-minute call, should I put the link right on my website so they could schedule it right there?" I was thinking about maybe adding that or even, like, a link for, like, a one-hour consult because that can be virtual, that can be from anywhere, so I'm like, should I just include a link right on my website so if somebody wanted to schedule it?" It's
Mhm.
just right there, and it kind of eliminates the email me, let me email you back kind of thing.
How many virtual consultations are you doing?
Well, I feel like I would like to do more. So I've done a few
Okay.
recently and I've had inquiries about it. So that's why I would love to be able to like send them, rather than just like emailing the Calendly link. I feel like if it was on the website, I want to kind of drive the traffic to my website.
Right. Well, Grant
So I don't
would
know.
say don't have too many, like, he's not big on websites, he's big on landing pages.
Yeah.
So I would say people are checking out my website, not in the middle of the day when I you can call me and get me right on the phone 90% of the time, but like later at night and stuff. So I would
See,
say
I
that
feel like people don't call. They either DM
right.
or will fill out the form on the
Yeah. So I
website.
think the form is a good idea.
Yeah.
I think at least having your phone number there is a good idea. It doesn't necessarily mean, but I don't know. I kind of think it's a little sketchy not having a phone number. Like,
Well, I
how,
always have a phone number, but I
right.
feel like nobody
Not
wants to
you, but
call
just speaking on
anybody.
a website. What?
I feel like people don't really wanna call and talk on the phone, like, when it's an initial. Because I know, like, I'm that way. If I'm reaching out to somebody, whether it's a vendor, whoever, I know everyone's super busy, and so most of the time, people are not gonna be answering the phone. So
Okay.
I will
Well, what?
send a text.
Interesting. I hear you.
I will send a
Interesting.
text.
I think of it
I would
as
rather
like
people text me.
right. But a phone you could text. But I think of it as like this person has a business. They want clients coming in. They're going to answer. They're going to pick up their phone because what do people want to know? They see your website. They see you do the work. They see that you've been around for a while. They see that you're legit. What is the next information that they want? Do you do what I want? Are you going to be able to do what I want? Are you going to give me what I want? And how much is it going to cost you? How much is it gonna cost them? And so they wanna call and get that information. If it's in the middle of the day, it's like, call and get that information pronto because it's what they want. Like, that's what I want. When I'm going through something, I'm like, "Oh, I wanna know about, like, I don't know, let me think. I need my house power wa"
Mhm.
Like, I know I wanna get that information, like, when can you start? Like, can you do that? How much is it gonna cost me? And how long is it gonna take? Like, when you're available? So I think it's a great idea putting a Calendly link for a call because if it's 11 o'clock at night and someone's working, they can always just book it.
That's what I think too.
Yeah. And I always like they're not going to call you. They may text you at 11 o'clock at night, but
Yeah.
if it's the middle of the day and they call me because they're like, oh, I want to get this, it's always everybody's
Yeah, and
hurry up
it's
and wait, right?
yeah,
So they're like, I got to do
exactly.
this right away. Okay, so they're going to call me right away. I give them the information because you call me, I'm gonna tell you how much it's gonna cost you to work with me. Because like,
So
I
when someone
don't
calls, you give them the information, like, right then and there?
mhm,
Do you
and
have to, like, carve out time to, like,
9
schedule a
times out of
call?
10 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna pick up, and I'll have a conversation right then and there, and I'll tell you not exact I'm gonna tell you where it starts because I have a one page that tells you that my initial design consultation is this much, and the next steps going forward for cost of a room is design fee is this much, and your investment amount is this much. And I'm gonna send that to you, text it to you, I'm gonna email it to you right then when I'm on the phone with you if I can. Like, that just gets and then I ask, like, "How does that feel? What do you think about it?" "Well, that's more than I thought. I was looking to spend, like, $75 an hour." "Okay, great. Totally understand. I'm not the right person for you. You may be able
Yeah.
to find somebody for $75 an hour, but that's not what my rate is."
Yeah.
So, I reduce time going forward
Yeah.
because they've already canceled themselves out. I mean, I still follow up, but I still do the usual stuff because I have
Yeah.
but, if they're humming and hawing because it's too expensive,
Yeah.
because they're like, "Well, my house is only worth, let's say, 60,000, and what you're saying for a kitchen is 180."
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Not a good fit.
I'm not the person to do the kitchen for you.
Yeah.
I know, that's how I feel. I'm like, I just wanna get the information, and then I'm gonna see if I like you.
Yeah, true. I agree with that. I don't know, I
Well, I
feel like
don't
I get a lot of people that reach out via email.
yeah, email too, but I find that the ones that reach out by email rarely, like, lots of times don't follow up, so they're scams. Like, I just got a phishing scam recently. Somebody, "Oh, we're in Europe, we just bought a house in the neighboring
Really?
thing. Could we get on a Zoom and we could talk about it so we can get started?" I'm like, "Sure."
Get out of here. Really?
Yeah, yeah. I sent them a Google Meet
And it's a
link.
scam?
Oh, it was a scam. I'll tell you. So since we're talking about it, because it was like, I'm like, "Okay, sure," because I was in the office. I'm like, sent them a Google Meet link. Okay, fine. Sent them the Google Meet. Get on the Google, which is fine. I was doing work. Get on. I knew that I was 95% sure that they weren't going to come on, but I'm like, okay, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We exchanged a few emails. Yeah, that works. That's a good time. Great. And then I'm waiting and I email her, "Hey, I'm here. Is this still a good time for you?" "It is. I'll be right on." Then another email. I can't seem to get on. I've downloaded it like 4 or 5 times and, well, I'm having a problem. I don't know why. Could I send you a link?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Let me see what this link is." Right?
No.
Give me a link. I know, Brightfire, not com. It's .vu backslash Zoom link. So you can always put whatever you want in that
Oh
backslash,
my
right?
god.
And then they pretended that they put some other things in this email with the link, and I'm like, "No." I'm like, "No.
Fine.
Can you get on this link?" I'm like, "No, no, this is not how I do work. I
Oh my
this
god,
is,"
that's
because
crazy.
I'm
I've
like,
never heard of that.
because she's like, I'm like, I said, "This isn't
What
a
are they
Zoom
trying
link."
to accomplish by sending you that link?
I don't know. Well, because I said, "This isn't a Zoom link. This is not how I work. We're professional. We work either on a Zoom or Google. And if you want, you can send me a Zoom link." She's like, "Well," because then she's like, "If you have any problems clicking it, then what you have to just do is, click it, and then you may have to download a," and I'm like, "Downloading anything." And VU, like, .com is US or some of the web, .ca is Canada.
Uh,
Oh, thank you, Chris Cueva, saying they can steal money and info when you click on the link. Yeah, exactly. They're
oh
gonna
my
put some
god.
kind of bug in my computer. I'm like, no,
God.
not clicking on the link and not downloading anything. And so the web address was VU, which is Varanusa, which is somewhere over in
Oh my
the southern
god.
hemisphere, over by.
God. Well, that's not good. Well, I'm glad
So
you didn't click on it.
yeah, that was the email. So yeah, I don't find too many people reach out an email once in a while,
See,
but they.
I get people that will email, I guess because they fill out the form on my website. Because whenever I in any of my marketing material, it always has my website. And I feel like people go to your website to look at your work and like find out more about you. So then they will fill out the form right on there. That's why I'm like, if I put the link to like schedule the call on my website, I think that would be better.
Yeah, it could be fill out
Let's
the
see.
form, and we'll get back to you on the next working day.
Yeah.
Feel free to book a discovery call right here now on there,
Yeah.
and then there it's scheduled.
Yeah.
I had that for a while. I don't think I have it right now. I don't. I
Do
mean,
you always do a Zoom call with them or you'll do like a regular phone call?
Google, usually a regular phone call or
Oh,
a Google Meet.
okay.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, yeah, I can't say I get a lot like that. I would say most of it is people calling me. And if somebody fills out a form on if a form is filled out on my website, then to me that's not an email. I get an email alert, the form with all the information. Yeah. So I don't really consider that an email. I consider that just, somebody is on my website and they want to talk to me, but it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm not there. They're not calling me, or they want me to call them, and I call them. I ask for their phone number and I ask for their email, and I call them as soon as I can.
Okay.
So I end up calling virtually everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too, because sometimes if you're calling and it's like a phone number they don't know, they won't pick up.
Yeah.
Because now they have that too, where they just like your phone like blocks not blocks the calls, but it'll send it to voicemail. Mine does that. There's so much spam calls.
Yeah, I pick them up anyways, and then I find that it stops picking up because I'm like, they hang up. I don't know. I pick up lots of times. They'll say it's a scam, but no,
Yeah.
I just pick up anyways. I've been lucky because I've picked up and I've gotten clients that just were calling. Thank God I picked up.
That's good. Okay. So what else is happening?
Always something happening. Always something happening.
What
Yeah.
happened now?
Nothing. We're just doing the same old, working through things, trying to get projects going. The problem I had isn't so much as scope creep as clients who recently they didn't like the option I showed them or, like, and then they saw something themselves and went out and bought it. That was the issue I had. So I had to then have a conversation and say, hey, based on our contract,
Mm-hmm.
the sourcing and procurement goes through me.
Right.
And that's how I offer it's part of my business process. And that's how I can control the quality and the cohesion. And, that's why I talk like it's part of my business model for a viable business.
Right.
So
How'd
she's
that conversation go?
okay. She's like, well, I didn't think of it like that. I just thought I needed to have this. And I saw and it was inexpensive. And so I thought it would work fine. I'm like, okay, that's not, but now what do you do? Like, charge them?
Yeah. Does it
So,
work?
what? I
Does it
just had the
work?
conversation.
What she no, what she bought. Do you like it? Does it work?
It's okay. I mean, it wouldn't be my first choice. Yeah, it wasn't my first choice, but she decided she didn't, it was inexpensive and she thought it would just be a good place mark.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, then it is what it is, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Don't do it again.
yeah, so I don't know what, like, is it don't do it again, and so therefore
Well, I know. I mean, it's tough. I mean, that's happened to me in the past, of course, with clients have done that. It's not fun.
no, not
But,
fun.
you have to have that conversation and hope that they'll respect the boundary and won't do it again.
That's right. At
Mm.
least, we had the conversation,
Yeah.
and then next time, like, I don't know, maybe I'll do a different like, I'll say, "Look, we've done this once, so now I need to charge you extra hours," or something, I don't know, because we spent a lot of time trying to find options for the pieces that we recommended. And, like, it's like if you want to pay custom, you can get whatever you want.
Hmm.
But when you're on a budget, which most clients are,
Yeah.
you are saying, "Okay, here's how much I think we should spend on this to get a good quality. Here's the here is the design aesthetic. Here is
Hmm.
the sizes. Here are the options." I mean, it's not just one path, but you're
Right.
looking at all like everything. Does it actually fit in the room? Can we get a little bigger? Can we get a little smaller?
Yeah.
It's the height, right? And then is it aesthetically pleasing? And is the price point in the right price point? Like
Hmm.
you can have everything line up and then it's too expensive,
Yeah.
right? You can have everything line up and it's a good price except that it's too tall.
Yeah.
So what are you willing to compromise on?
Right.
Sometimes you get lucky and I mean, I'm not saying it is I'm not saying it's not perfect, but like perfect is like perfect in what sense? If it's too expensive, is it perfect? If it's a little bit too tall, but everything else and it's the right price, is it perfect? Like, I don't know about perfect.
Yeah. Well, that's when you take a look at the whole picture of everything put together. And that's why
It's like, okay,
when we're sourcing something, it's not just piecemeal. There's so many things that we take into consideration. So when, if a client goes and buys something on their own, now we have to work that into every other piece that's
right.
in the room.
Yeah.
So that's the complexities of sourcing and designing rooms,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. And then they change something and
Yeah. And they don't realize like one small change affects so many other things,
right.
you know?
So, yeah. It's a learning process. Ready for my nap. Yeah. So we're here every Tuesday for anybody listening to us, watching us, talking design tea.
Yeah.
Elizabeth and I get together, talk about issues,
Trials and
problem solve.
tribulations of running an interior design business.
We've been doing it for quite a while
Yeah,
ourselves, and then we're sharing it live on Tuesdays at 4. I think next week Tuesday I might not be able to be here. Can't remember. Maybe it was last week. Last week Tuesday I wasn't here at 4. But for the most part, we're here at 4. We try to be on time and on the
yeah,
same day at the same time.
exactly.
Right.
Feel free to DM us, follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
DM us if you have any questions. We could talk about it in next week's design tea.
Yeah. We'll
Okay.
see you then.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.